We will now conduct a lesson on using the Draw a Drawing application to perform geometry measurements of a 3D object presented in STL format. The application performs all basic operations with 3D objects in the aspect solid 3D function block, or aspect solid, as we will sometimes call it. The main purpose of these operations is to prepare a 3D object for printing on a 3D printer. However, there are no obstacles to other subsequent uses of these object models. We have prepared a solid body model in STL format in advance. This will be our object for research. It is called engine crankcase.
Have to wait.
Some long executions in the application are accompanied by a voice message instead of the image of a rotating horseshoe. Here, we loaded the object. Here is its dimension along the x, y, z axes in the left Cartesian coordinate system. For us, this means that the x-axis is directed from left to right, the y-axis is from top to bottom, and the z-axis from the farthest coordinates in our overview to the closest to us. We also see a field called section depth. This depth is also measured from the farthest point of the object's dimension to the near one, and by default is equal to half of its dimension along the z-axis. At this depth, we set the section in a plane parallel to the plane of the xy axes. We got the contour of the intersection of the plane with the surfaces of the solid body. We can save this contour in a DXF file. We use the default name for the file. We have received the file. Now let's exit the aspect solid function block and create a new drawing file. Let's leave everything as default and import the saved DXF file into a new drawing. To do this, go to the Entering Graphics Design stage. At this stage, we call the navigator and select the menu item, File. In the new menu, select the next item, Import. Let's select the required file from the list. In the Import dialog, we will keep everything by default.
Have to wait.
Let's expand the new projection window to full screen. Now we will adjust the parameters of the image scaling for convenient work. On a mobile device, the screen is not large, so it is recommended to constantly use transitions between different scales of the projection view during design. To do this, we will fix the scaling factor that we will use often. First, the entered coefficient is checked. If it satisfies, then we will remember it. Our main tool will be the function, show the area around the click, with the option, and apply the saved scale. Now let's look at 3 methods for taking measurements on drawing projections. The first method is using the coordinates of the support points. To do this, we'll move on to the support points stage. And we will increase the scale in the area of the starting point from which we will take measurements. Let's call the context menu and select Point Properties. Let's assign it the attribute. This point has initial coordinates. Let's move on to the measurement point. To do this, we'll first change the scale to large. Then we move on to the point we need. Let's call the Point Properties dialog. And we see its coordinates relative to the origin point. The measurement accuracy here is equal to 2 digits after the decimal point. The second method of measurement is by using dimensions. To do this, we will move on to the dimensional network stage. Let's select the New Dimension function. By default, the dimension is linear. Let's leave it as is. Let's select the extension line of the dimension with large coordinates, since we currently have exactly this point in our review. Let's install this support on it. Let's select the extension line with smaller coordinates. And let's move on to this point. Let's place the extension line support of the dimension on it. Let's go back to the size input dialog and see its calculated nominal value. It should be borne in mind that this nominal value is specified with the same accuracy as specified in the drawing details. Let's not forget to delete the new size, since it was created just to see the distance. The third method of measurements using geometric constructions is applicable for arbitrary directions and not only rectilinear ones. Let's move on to the Entering Graphics stage. Let's select the line type, Straight Line Segment. Let's indicate 2 points on the projection between which a straight line will be drawn. Let's mark this line. Let's look at the list of marked graphic elements. Let's select our line. We see its length. Now the line can be deleted. This method can be used to measure the lengths of existing lines. These are the measurement methods in the Draw a Drawing application. Good luck in mastering it.